משנה ד' ביאור משנה ד' לאחר שלמדנו במשנה הקודמת, after we learned in the previous Mishnah, שהמוציא חפץ מרשות לרשות אינו חייב עליו, that one who takes an object from one domain to another domain is not obligated, אלא אם כן יש בו כשיעור שבני אדם מחשבים אותו, only if it has the right measurement that people think it's important, כדבר שראוי להצניעו, that people put it aside, באה המשנה לפרט את השיעורים של דברים שונים לעניין החיוב בצורתם. Now we're going to actually deal with it. You should know, you're a farmer, so you should know what you're allowed to take out or not take out. Let's see. המוציא תבן, someone who takes out hay, של תבואה. How much is it important if you take out hay? Is hay important? One hay? Are you allowed to take it out on Shabbat? You're not allowed. What's going to happen if you take it out? Do you have to bring a sacrifice? If one hay? Do you have to bring a sacrifice or not? Oh, so one hay, for sure. The rabbi says don't take it out. But if you did take it out, there's no sacrifice. It's only one hay. It's not important. What makes it important? When does one hay become important? 2, 3, 4, how do you know?
When decide.
Who decides? Yeah, when do people, exactly, when does the farmer, what do you think? If you're the sages, when are you going to say hay is important? At what stage? 1, 2, 3, how are you going to decide? Why? Oh, very good. Very good. So it's the first time the farmer is going to use it. The least amount where the farmer is going to use, where a farmer is going to do something with it. So let's see what they say. A hay shel tvuah, shi'uro, the measurement, kemale pi hapara. It says it looks like the only people that did something, the only animals that did something with hay was cows. So the minimum, you're not going to take half a mouthful to the cow, you're going to take a full mouthful to the cow. So then the measurement for hay, when it does become important, when people are not going to throw it away, when you have one mouthful. Ho'il ve'teven ma'achal parahu, since teven only cows it, the hay, at that time, only cow ate the hay, holchim achar shiura, we're going to go after what does the cow eat? Because from all the animals we're going to see, only cows ate hay. ולכן אין המוציא תבן חייב, אלא אם כן הוציא לפחות כשיעור הפרה, שהפרה יכולה למלא בו את פיה. Therefore, the only time that you're going to be obligated from the Torah is for its use. And when was the farmer going to he's not going to grab half a mouthful, but he is going to grab a full mouthful for the cow. So that's why it's important. So anything more than a full mouthful for hay makes it important, which is quite large. Okay? Let's see etzah. What is the etzah? Etzah is teven shel minei kitniyot. It's hay made out of kitnius. I don't know what kind of hay that camels ate. It looks like only camels ate this and not other animals. Kemelo pia gamal. How much do you need to be obligated for that? A mouthful of a camel. Again, it looks like the camel is has the smallest mouth that eats this kind of food. שיעור זה גדול ממלוא פי הפרה. It is, in other words, it is bigger than the mouth of the cow. A camel is bigger than a cow. Now comes the question for you. If I take hay, the amount of hay, kemelo pi apara, the measurement for a cow, and I give it to a camel, and I carry it out on Shabbat, am I obligated do I have to bring a sacrifice?
Yeah.
But I have to. Now, if I take what do you call it? Kitniot, the teven of kitniot, the hay made out of kitniot, and I take only less than a camel, I take it the amount of a cow, and I go out with it on Shabbat, do I need to bring a sacrifice? No. Because teven, the minimum amount is a mouth of a camel. A mouth of a cow is smaller than the mouth of a camel. Because only camels eat it. Cows don't eat it. So if I take it out and I have a full mouth of a cow, would a farmer think it's important? No. Because for him, the minimum amount is a full mouth of an animal. That's the minimum amount. If he doesn't have a full mouth for a cow, he has a full mouth of a cow, but the cow doesn't eat this. The cow only eats hay. It doesn't eat these kidneys. It doesn't need to bring a sinner for me, that's right. So it doesn't have the measurement. A camel's mouth is much bigger than a cow's mouth. So let's continue. והמוציא עצה כמלוא פי הפרה. So therefore, if he took kidneys in the measurement of a cow, a mouth of a cow, אינו חייב. He is not obligated. Again, why? לפי שאינה ראויה למאכל הפרה. Because it's not enough. It's not befitting for a cow to eat. A cow will not eat it. The only animal, the smallest animals that will eat it is a camel. And a camel is bigger than a cow. Mouthful. So therefore he's not going to be obligated. Amir. What about an Amir? Amir is going to be more refined. More refined. Which means camels will eat it, cows will eat it, maybe other animals will eat it also. We'll see soon. Amir. Hakash shel shibulim. This is the hay of stalks. Yesh mefarshim hakash al tiltan. It means the hay of a plant called tiltan. Kemelo pitale. You're going to be obligated when it's a mouth of a calf. Tale is calf, right? Yeah. To mouth of a cow. So in other words, since small cows eat it, you're going to be obligated even for a small cow for that. So if you take a meal, and even if you take it out for a camel, right, or for a cow, for them it's not enough to feed a cow. You only have half the measurement of a cow. But since half a measurement of a cow, it's the measurement that a small cow eats, it's enough because he eats it. There's an animal out there in your farm that eats this amount, you're obligated. Yeah? Kemelo pia tale, like the mouthful of a tale. Velo achar shi'ur apara, and not after the measurement of the cow. Asavim, what about just grasses? Just grass. So it says even over here now, you're going even to the smaller animals, you're obligated. Kemelo pia gdi, you're obligated if it's a goat, like the measurement of a full mouth of a goat. שהעשבים רכים יותר, because grasses are much softer, ורואים אף למאכל הגדי, even the goats eat them. הילקח, המוציא עשבים אף כמלוא פי הגדי חייב. So therefore, somebody who takes out grasses, even just like the mouth of a goat, he is already obligated. עלי שום ועלי בצלים, leaves of garlic and leaves of onions, לחים when they're wet, שרואים הם למאכל אדם, that they're befitting for a person to eat. How much is that? שיעורם כגורגורת. The measurement is like גורגורת. How much is גורגורת? כתאנה יבשה. This is like a dry fig. שזהו שיעורו של כל מאכל אדם לעניין הוצאה. This is the measurement of how much you will take one bite. In other words, this is for one bite of food. So you're already obligated because even humans eat it. It's even less. יבשים, what about if they're dry? עלי שום ועלי בצלים יבשים, if the leaves are dry, שאינם ראויים למאכל אדם. What does it mean? That human beings don't eat them? Only animals eat them? שיעורם כמלא pig D. Again, it goes back to the smallest animals that eat them. What's the smallest animals that eat them? A goat. So that will go be the measurement. שמאכל גדיהם. That the measurement of a gdi. And now comes what happens if you start combining them. You take half a measurement from this, a quarter measurement from this, a quarter from this, a quarter from this. Do they all come together or not? So let's see. ואין מצטרפים זה עם זה. And we don't combine the measurements one with another. לשיעור שלם. To make it a whole שיעור. כגון, אם הוציא תבן פחות ממלוא פי הפרה, if he took hay, and it was less than the mouth of a cow. So it's not obligated, right? והשלים את החסר בעצה. And he made the rest of it, the rest of the thing in עצה, with the food for a camel. But you mixed it. You make it half cow feed, half camel feed. Are you going to be obligated? So it says you're not going to be obligated, even though you might trick the cow to eat it, because it thinks it's hay. It's not going to eat the camel food. But over here, because you mix them together, it thinks it's hay. So it might eat the other one also, but you're still not obligated because it's not cow food. It's only camel food. It needs to be 100% cow food in order for you to be obligated. And since this is not 100% cow, you didn't take out the full measurement of a cow in hay, it was mixed hay and camel food, you're not obligated. So if you mix the two measurements, you're not obligated. Why? מפני שלא שבו בשיעוריהם. Because they don't have the same measurement. You can't combine them. בגמרא מבואר, in the Gemara it explains, שדבר ששיעורו גדול, it explains that if something has a big measurement, אינו מצטרף לדבר ששיעורו קטן, does not combine with something that has a small measurement. והיינו שאין העצה מצטרפת לתבן, we're not going to take the קטניות together with the hay, להשלים את שיעורו של מלוא פי הפרה, to make it a full measurement of a mouth of a cow. אבל דבר ששיעורו קטן מצטרף לדבר שהוא גדול. But it's the opposite, you're going to be in trouble. For example, שכן תבן מצטרף לעצה להתחייב שלא פגע גמל. If you have only, let's say the opposite way, you're going to have half camel food, half a measurement of camel food, and you're going to add to it another half a measurement of hay, and you feed that to the camel. Are you going to be obligated now? And the answer is yes, because the camel eats both hay and this. So the two of them to join him. So something that the measurement is smaller joins with something that the measurement is higher. But something that the measurement is higher doesn't join to something that the measurement is smaller. Do you understand the logic? He eats both, so for him it's food. That's right. המוציא אוכלים מאכלי בני אדם, anybody who takes out food that human beings eat, כגורגורת, like we said, what's the measurement that you're obligated for? כשיעור תאנה יבשה. It's like a dry fig. So if you take anything less than a dry fig, you don't have to bring a sacrifice. Right? חייב, he's obligated. חטאת is obligated, a sin offering. ומצטרפים זה זה. And because it's a human food, it combines all with one another. כל האוכלים מצטרפים זה עם זה. All the food combines one with another. כגון אם מוציא לחם וירק. For example, if you took bread and vegetables, שאין בכל אחד כגוגורת, each one is half a fig, הרי הם מצטרפים, they combine. שכל מאכלי בני אדם שיעורם כגוגרת, because I don't care what you're eating, what kind of food, the minimum measurement for any food, meat, whatever you want, if it's a human being eating, the measurement is a fig, dry fig. But here comes the thing. What happens if I take גרעינים, sunflower seeds, right? and I take the measurement of a dry fig, am I obligated now? According to what we said right now? So the answer is yes, I'm obligated, right? But he says no. You know why?
Small.
Not because it's small. It has the measurement. I don't care if it's small. Because you don't eat the shells. What do you eat? You just eat the inside. So in other words, how much food do you have there? That's what we're counting, not how much containers. For example, if you take an orange, a clementine, that's exactly the measurement of a fig. Do you have to bring a sacrifice? No, because you're going to peel it. Right? But if it's going to be that the fruit itself is the measurement of a fig, that's what we're counting. It has to be the food, not the container. In other words, we're not going to count the sunflower seed or the orange shell as part of the fruit, because people don't eat it. Okay? So that's what it says. Chutz miklipehem vegar'inehem, except the shells and the seeds. Also don't count the seeds, because nobody eats the seeds. Ve'oktsehen, and also the parts that sticks out of the fruit. You know, like the apple has the little thing. Znavot apri, the tails of the fruit. Ve'suban, and also suban, hapsula hagasa shel hakemach. So one took the psolet hagasa shel hakemach. The flour has, today we get everything refined, but in the old times it used to have like shells inside the kemach. That's where you used to sieve it. So the shell is not part of it. So whenever the shell is out, don't count it within the measurements. Umursan, psolet hadaka, and mursan also is the thin garbage from the kemach, from the flour. ויש מפרשים להפך. There are those who say it's the opposite. שהמורסן הוא פסולת גסה, מסובים. It doesn't matter. Both of the garbage that you don't eat in the flour, don't count it in a measurement. כל אלו אינו מאכל אדם. All these a person does not eat. ולכן אינם מצטרפים לאוכל להשלים שיעורו לגרגרת. Therefore they don't combine together to make it a whole measurement. Rabbi Yehuda comes to say, I know something that you count the shells. What is something that you count the shells? Chutz miklipe adashim. It says the shells of lentils you count. Why the shells of lentils you count? Because you eat them. Kol haklipot inam mitzrafot laochel. All the shells do not combine together. Chutz miklipot adashim shemitztarfot. Except the shells of the lentils that we count them in. Why shemit bashlot imayim? Look, people eat them. They cook it with them, and then they eat them. לפי שמתבשלות עם העדשים, we cook them with the lentils, ולכן מצטרפות הן עמהם, לכדי גורגורת. And therefore they come together לכדי גורגורת. And we're going to say that not. We eat it because we're forced to, not because it's food. In other words, how would you know? Would you just eat them? If I take out adashim, right? And I take only the shells. I take only the shells out. And I make from them something. Only the shells. Would you eat it?
No.
Only the shells.
No.
That's what he says. The Chachamim says, people only eat it because they're forced to. It's too difficult to separate them. But if you only give them the shells, they're not going to... Anybody, for example, I'll give you an example from these days and age. You know, you've got some comcats. You know the comcats? It's like a small clementine, but you eat it with the shell. You know what I'm talking about? So do you count this? Rabbi Yehuda says you count it in? Rabbi Yehuda says you count, because you eat it. And Chachamim are going to say, no. And how Chachamim know? He says, if I separate them from the fruit, and I put it over here, just the shells, would you eat it? No. So it's not food. Don't tell me it's food. You're only eating it because it's hard to separate, not because you think it's food. So therefore, you're not going to be obligated if you bring them according to Chachamim. Who do you like better, Chachamim or Rabbi Yehuda? Chachamim. Smart, huh? It says adashim. It happened to be. Who's going to sit over there and start peeling adashim? It's too hard. Nobody's going to do it. But it's not like you want it. you're forced to do it. Good?